switching now to our second presentation, Koshimura Sensei. Koshimura Sensei, if you want to set up while I introduce you. Um, Perfect. Koshimura Sensei is a professor at Tōhoku University in Japan. He's an expert in identifying the impacts of natural disasters. He spearheads high-performance computations for real-time disaster monitoring, integrating Earth observations with geoinformatics. Koshimura Sensei namely received, among other awards, the Open Innovation Prize from Japan's Ministry of Internal Affairs and Communication. Koshimura Sensei.
Hello, everyone. So what I'm talking about today is the advances of the nationwide tsunami inundation damage forecast system in Japan. Actually, we launched this project in 2015 as a title, like a breaking the wall of the tsunami forecast. Now this is in the full operation of the nationwide tsunami inundation system, forecast system. So the good thing is that I'm actually working as a professor of the International Research Institute, Disaster Science Tōhoku University, and also working as the CTO of RTAcast. That is the university-based tech startup. Now they are taking the role of the operating the tsunami forecast system. So thinking about the tsunami warning messages that I'm calling that breaking the wall that tsunami forecast is. This is one typical example of the tsunami warning messages we are supposed to receive. So this is the messages from National Weather Service in USA. Like this one, we have the similar kind of the warning messages from JMA. So like this, we are receiving this kind of message, but what we are really concerned about is, are we safe at where we are, like this one? So this is a very important lessons and experiences what we have in 2011 in Japan that caused the inundation of the 161 square kilometers as an inundation area that have the more than 18,000 fatalities. That was up to about 3% of the population in inundation zone. So what we are really concerned about is the inundation. So that's why we started this project. So the critical questions for the tsunami forecast, what we define is how extensive the tsunami penetrates. In other words, where is the safe place? And how many people are exposed, and how many structures or infrastructures are damaged, and how extensive disaster relief activities should be deployed, and how much losses are. So those are, I think you agree with this, those are very critical questions that we have in the aftermath of the major disaster, not only about the tsunami disaster, even after the earthquakes. So the challenges of our projects towards the real-time tsunami inundation forecast is the three kinds of challenges we had. And then the first is rapid determination with tsunami source model. In other words, rapid estimation of seismic fault model using GNSS data. And then the second is the accelerating, how we accelerate the tsunami inundation simulation with the high performance computing infrastructure. And the third is how we establish the quantitative damage estimation and mapping methods to provide responders with mapping products. For this, let me explain why we do real-time forecast simulation. So many of the scientists or engineers are thinking about building the huge database for this, driven by the offshore monitoring or the database driven the forecast system. But we are not doing that. We are doing is the forward real-time simulation using the supercomputer, because this is a comparison of the tsunami inundation in the 2011 event with the configurations of the seawalls, the land uses in 2011, and on the right side, on the right panel. And then we recovered and then we reconstructed the seawalls or the reconstructed coastal community on the left-hand side. So having the same tsunami scenario, but we have the very different inundation. What happens is the reconstruction of the coastal seawalls and the coastal community. With this, we think about when we think about the tsunami inundation forecast, what really important is the configuration of the coastal structures and the land use. When we think about the building the huge database, what we need to do is to assume one condition or maybe even a couple of conditions about the coastal seawalls or land use. However, this kind of situation are changing in time. So that's why we consider the recent configurations of the coastal seawalls and then the land use. And then introducing the real-time forecast capability so that the forecast, at least the forecast result, is keeping updated that to provide the most reliable forecast in terms of the tsunami inundation. So that's why we are doing the real-time forward simulation. So the other advantages of our forecast is using the GNSS data, in other words, the GEONET data provided by GSI. So working with the one of our colleagues, Ohta-san, developed the rapid like this. We are using the GEONET data of the more than 1,200 sites in nationwide in Japan, and then having the real-time estimate of the fault model like this one on the right panel. This is the one validation of the rapid at the 2011 event. So, and they are it was very successful to determine the fault rupture area and also the fault mechanism. Now, the rapid is extended its capability to the regard, that is as one of the services of the GSI to provide the heterogeneous fault model in megastress for earthquakes. So like this one, when we have the event on the Nankai Trough, like this one, they are supposed to provide the very precise estimation of the fault rupture model, like this one. So having that, we are moving. So we had a successful validation through the 2011 Tōhoku event like this. So we run the tsunami inundation model like that way, and then we confirm that the forecast capability has the reliability to let the people know where is the safe place or where to go, like this one. So this is the color is our estimation, and then red line is the inundation extended the 2011 event. So, and then the next challenge is the accelerating the tsunami forecast or accelerating running the tsunami inundation model. So if you take a look at the right-hand side, this is showing the performance of using the supercomputers to achieve the computation within the 10-meter grid for the 6-hour forecast of an inundation. So we use the three kinds of computer system, starting with the AWS Amazon, and then the old generation supercomputer at Tōhoku University, which is called SXAs, and then now the new generation X Aurora is now in Tōhoku University. So this is the new one. So looking at this, we achieved the time of the computational time for the 6-hour forecast of inundation. We can complete that computation within a couple of minutes. So that's I think that's the most advantage of we have in the capability. So what is good is we have the disaster mode of the supercomputer. So in general, the supercomputer is very busy, so it is pretty difficult to use that in real time. But we have the disaster mode in the supercomputer operation that is immediately suspending other active jobs to execute our tsunami inundation simulation automatically. So that is the advantage. Now, this capability is expanding as a nationwide system in the central government of Japan. We started this operation for the Nankai Trough area, started in 2018, and expanding its focused area through the big event of the Olympic game in Tokyo. We started in services in 2020, and now we have the full coverage for the Pacific coast of Japan, and then now we are expanding the focused area in the Japan Sea region like this way. So what we have, for example, we have the big event like anticipated Nankai Trough earthquake tsunami. So we are supposed to provide information of the inundation forecast like this way, and also the damage estimate, especially about the on the structure, because we have the empirical relationship. That's what we call the tsunami fragility curve. This is the relationship of the damage probability and inundation depth in terms of the structure type, the wooden houses or others like a steel or reinforced concretes. So once we have the inundation depth, and then we can estimate the damage probability of the houses or structures. That will be counted as a number of the damaged structure or the washed away as a quantitative estimates of the damage. So through that, we provide the mapping products to the users. Let me show some examples. So now our clients are now the central and prefecture governments and the insurance industries. And then we are now expanding that project with some collaborators at the NTT, that's the mobile communication company, and then JR Tokai, that's the national railway company. So that we are verifying that capability, the work for their businesses, like a communication and also the railway system. So far, fortunately, we have not had the big event, but every year we have, been providing that kind of information to the users through the disaster response drill like this way. So what they are supposed to use the forecast information is like through the disaster response drill. So we are supposed to provide the information, and then they are receiving the forecast information to use their decision in the disaster response drill like that way. So what we are providing is that inundation depth distribution like this way. It's pretty precise, and then so that you can add some more information about the critical infrastructures. This is one example, the red pins of adding the information about the evacuation buildings, so that we can know that which of the buildings are safe or which one is inundated, or how many people are evacuated in each of the buildings. Also, the population exposure, we are providing a mapping product like this way using the population exposure data, population data to counting the number with how many people are exposed in the inundation zone. And also applying the tsunami fragility curve for the quantitative estimation of the building damage like that. So we are sending that information. So that is what we call the breaking the wall that's tsunami focused, because this kind of information are not provided by JMA or other tsunami focused services. So another perspective is using the GNSS data is, I think it's the people's flow. So like that way, people are moving, and then dynamically social kind of processes are moving in time processes. So when we have that, I think we call that the data fusion of mobile phone location data with the tsunami inundation focus. So that we are really concerned about where the people are, exposed, and then also which area or how many people are waiting for the rescue, or how we can disseminate that information to survive from the tsunami disaster. So that is our next step using the GNSS information. So now we are doing some tests or validations of the information dissemination using the QZSS. So sorry, we don't have any sound, but this is the the news media. They are watching the evacuation drill. We are disseminating information, evacuation guidance information through the GNSS, QZSS communication device through the communication network, and then the peoples, or especially the tourists or foreigners, they have the cell phone, and then they are receiving the information, the text information from the QZSS. With that, even if we have, the problems of the mobile phone networks, we can receive the warning messages from the QZSS. So that is one advantage of using other GNSS information, having their position, also having the proper warning messages from the QZS. So the conclusion is I talked about the great progress of the real-time tsunami inundation and the damage-focused technologies in Japan with the use of the dense observation of GNSS networks and HPCI, high-performance computing infrastructure. And we verified how the real-time forecast capability works for especially for the disaster response. And then we are now trying to expand that capability to saving lives. And then increasing the forecasting capability with quick, accurate, robust communication with precise positioning. So that's what we are trying to do as a next step. So I think I finished my talk. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Koshimura. That's very impressive sets of results and an excellent presentation. Using multimodal GNSS techniques and data, quite impressive results already, and always impressive to see that implemented. Well, for public safety. Yeah, it's very exciting. We have a few minutes for questions. I'd like to invite people to raise hand, use the chat. Elder Ribinov?
Yeah, I have a question to Koshimura-san. Thank you very much for the interesting presentation. Just with regards to the QZSS early warning messages, could you tell us whether you're at the stage where you can send those messages directly to a mobile phone, or do you have to have another device to
Yes.
receive those
Okay.
messages?
Thank you for asking a question. Yeah, I think that's the most challenging part. So in the test, we had other receivers to be connected to the mobile phone. So it's not implemented on the mobile phone system. So that's I think that's the challenges of not for us, but the cell phone company. We are hoping that the kind of the devices or chips on the cell phone to receive the automatically from the GNSS. That's what we are hoping. But the test, we have the other attached very big receiver, so that that was working for the test, but it's not working for the usual commercial use. So that's the next step.
Okay, but the end goal is to have it directly available to mobile phones.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So that's we want to hope, and we want to ask to the mobile phone company.
Right. Another raised hand from Franklin One.
Hello, Koshimura Sensei. In the case of the tsunami prediction in the Tōhoku earthquake, there was co-seismic subsidence on the coast of Japan. So does your tsunami model account for, or can it account for the subsidence?
Yes, absolutely. So because we have the observation of co-seismic displacement, so that is automatically introduced into a model to estimate the displacement field.
Thank you.
Which brings us back on time. If you have any other questions, please leave them in the chat and we'll have a discussion. Thank you again, Koshimura Sensei.
Thank you.